Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Yeah, it's been a minute. I know. It has been a minute. I have been living my life, studying. Oh, wow. It has been a while. So, a lot's been happening. I'm still in school. I've been studying a lot, reading a lot, and just continuing to learn and grow. I had some, they call it analysis paralysis, look, being a perfectionist and wanting things to do right and be perfect. And I have all of the things that I need to record myself. So here I am recording myself. The people that I had that was recording my podcast for me no longer live in my area. So I've had to do it myself now. And, the perfectionist in me, I never really thought I was a perfectionist, but apparently I am. I went to a business and personal development Thrive. That's what we call it, Thrive. It's a business and personal development encouragement, enrichment. And I kind of got, not kind of, I did. I got convicted on not doing these, not doing my podcast and being stuck with analysis paralysis. But needless to say, here I am. So tonight, well, I'm recording tonight, but I wanted to share with you, being as though it's October and it is both Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but it is also Domestic Violence Month. And I wanted to share with you some information on intimate partner violence and battered person syndrome. Now, let me tell you a little story, okay? So there's a person that I know very well who at one point in their life had zero self-esteem because of all of the things that had happened in their life. And they were in a long-term relationship and they were emotionally abused. As they grew up and became older, they got married, moved away, and the person that they married also became emotionally and physically abusive. So when this person went to get therapy, because they recognized that they needed therapy, they were diagnosed with battered woman syndrome. And that's what they called it at that time. And it was still it wasn't that new, but the research, the fullness of what it actually does or did to people had not been developed. And I was thinking about something to post about, something to talk about. Um, and I chose to discuss battered person syndrome because a lot of people don't really understand that being in a abusive relationship, and that could be parent-child, that could be intimate partner, that can even be friend to friend, that could be boss to employee. Because there are a lot of relationships, and emotional abuse is just as bad as physical abuse. So, talking about battered person syndrome, it's defined as a set of symptoms and injuries signs of mistreatment that are seen in persons that have been repeatedly abused by a spouse, a partner, or a relative. So I was doing research to really be accurate with my information. And this is a study that I looked up. I found it, and it was done by Mary Wandry. So in her study, she found that it also affects men. So that's why they changed it from battered woman syndrome to battered person syndrome, because men are affected as well. So if you've been abused, if you have had reactions from domestic violence, especially those that have been traumatic responses, lower self-esteem, learned helplessness. So learned helplessness is when a person they think that they have no control over the outcome of their experiences. So this isn't like, God is in control of everything. This is more like, you hear the stories of, oh, you tie an elephant up when they're young, and if they pull the stake out the dirt, you put it back in and you put it in deeper. You make the rope tighter, so that way, whenever they try to get away, they can't. And then, my earring just fell out. And then, as they get older, I might as well take the other one out. Then, as they get older, they don't even try. And the article references a scientist, a psychologist, that did a study like that with dogs. So they would shock the dog. After the dog would be tied up, they would shock the dog, and the dog eventually would no longer try to escape. So this is what people that have been abused, what they do. They feel like that learned helplessness is, they feel like that they have no control over what the outcome of their experiences will be. So the research says that 25% of women and 14% of men have been severely physically assaulted by an intimate partner. 25% of women and 14% of men. Now, 81% of women and 35% of men have been violently assaulted by an intimate partner. They've been raped, stalked, and this causes people to have post-traumatic stress disorder. So, battered person syndrome, that falls under PTSD. So people can become anxious and be in depression, and fearful. If you've ever been around someone that is abused, like even an animal, if you've ever been around an animal that's abusing, you yell or you raise your hand and it cowers down. The same thing happens to people, children that have been abused. If you yell or you raise your hand, um, they cower down because they're afraid. It's a reflex because of what has happened to them. So the National Domestic Violence Hotline said that for 2025, for the 2020s, there is approximately 24 people that experience rape, physical violence, or stalking every minute of the day. That's about 12 million individuals per year. 24 people in one day. Every minute. 24 people experience rape, physical violence, or some form of stalking every minute. And that's in the 20s. That's like right now, today, this year. So people that are in these relationships, they go through stages of denial. Oh no, I'm not being abused. That's not abuse. They justify the behavior, that kind of thing. Then they feel guilty. They think it's their fault. It's something that they did. They should not have said this. They should not have done that. And then they realize, wait, something is not quite right here. They realize that they didn't deserve what has happened, but they don't outright acknowledge that their partner is abusive. Not yet. But then they accept the responsibility of the fact that it is not their fault, but it is the abuser's fault. And they are the ones that is responsible for their behavior. And usually, excuse me, this is the time where they begin to look for an end to their abuse. Sorry, I don't even really drink sodas, but I had a rough weekend at work and I was feeding my emotions, so I had gotten a little thing of ice cream and cream soda and made me a creamsicle float, but I didn't use all the soda. But anyway, so people go through these stages, right? And of course, there's no time limit on how long they get there. Now, I know people always say, well, they should have been gone. They should have left and this and that. A person could be in the denial stage for years. They can be in denial for years. And they could not even realize it or realize it, but feel like their hands are tied. Financial dependence, especially nowadays, people, they need assistance to live, to eat, and get medicine and all of those things. They want to have their family complete for their children, thinking that, my kids need both parents in the house and that kind of thing. Well, newsflash, if you're not happy, your kid's not going to be happy. I understand you want to be, have your family and all of that, but if you getting your head knocked around, you getting disrespected, male or female, your kids are seeing that, and think about what are you showing them, okay? Think about that. What are you showing your kids by allowing that behavior to be done to you? What are you showing your children? Some people are just afraid to leave as well, And like I said, they're in denial that this is even abuse. Some people grew up like that and they don't even recognize and know that this is not how things are supposed to be. They think this is what it's supposed to look like because that's all they've seen. That's all they know. And sometimes they don't know that this is abnormal behavior. This is not what it's supposed to look like. I think that a lot of times people do that because they haven't seen anything else. So that's what they do. So a lot of times people do believe that this is just what it is. Now, I do want to stress, because I don't want this is a sensitive topic, I know, and I don't want to share this information without sharing the information to get help. So how do you manage this? First off, you leave. You make a plan. You have a safe person. You make a plan. If you got to escape, do that. You get into therapy because you need someone to help you to separate your feelings and emotions of having a partner, having someone with you, but separating that desire from the desire of having an abuser. Because having someone in a relationship is different from having someone in a relationship that cares about you, truly, genuinely cares about you, is different than having an abuser, just having anybody in a relationship. Because you have to learn and know your value and know what you are willing to accept. And abuse should not be it at all. It should not be it at all. So there is the National Domestic Violence Hotline you can call. That is 800-799-SAFE, 800-799-7233, 800-799-SAFE. Excuse me. If your life is in danger, dial 911. Do not wait. Do not wait. Learn some practical self-defense techniques to protect yourself at all times. You have to. You have to. But more importantly, protect your mind, your self-esteem, your values, who you are as a person. Because God loves you. Even if somebody tells you that nobody else loves you, you know that God loves you. Your parents love you. If you have siblings, I'm sure you have some friends. Somebody loves you. And if nobody doesn't ever tell you that, I love you. I do. I genuinely love people. I really do. Even this crazy mess that's happening in this world, I pray for people and I genuinely love people. Now, I ain't saying I love all people, but you, I love you. So reach out if you need help. Again, 800-799-7233 or 800-799-SAFE. You can call that number 24/7 and someone will be there to help you. If you have a question, if you want a specific topic, send me a message and let me know. And thank you for listening to my podcast today. Toodles.